Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Boss Rush Podcast, a great place to play games and be better. I'm one of your hosts, Corey Deering, and alongside me, as always, is the wise Wisconsinite, Mr. Jesse Douglas.
How's it going, everyone?
And to my left here is the PC Muscle Race himself, Mr. LeRon Dawkins.
How's it going?
And below me, of course, is that retro code, Eddie B.
I am not hosting this episode, but I will be back to regain my spot. Hello, everybody.
Oh, please, you act like you got knocked down.
But he'll get up again.
Never
Never gonna keep him down.
Where's my?
You know when that song came on yesterday at work?
And we have a special.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna finish this up. We have a special guest down in the lower left-hand corner. You may recognize him as his guest spot on Nintendo Power Block.
Yes.
Galutrad himself, Jacob
What's
Taylor.
going on?
It's good.
Man.
I'm glad you're here.
It was very unexpected. I literally just got home from an overtime shift at work and was like, popped in and was like, hey, what's up?
Yeah, and like you were in our chat. I was like, why don't you just come on the show?
Yeah,
and you're like, okay.
Yeah.
So, but if people didn't catch Power Block, tell people what you do and who you are and things you are.
So I am Galutrad, G-A-L. I misspelled it at the very end of Power Block. I don't want to do that again. Galutrad. I am a Nintendo fanboy through and through. I have dabbled with all other PC, Xbox, PlayStation, all of the things. Used to work for GameStop once upon a time, so I'm very well versed in it all. Follow all the news, but Nintendo is where my heart lies, and love just chatting about all things gaming.
Great. I'm outnumbered. More Nintendo people in the mix. I'm outnumbered.
Hey, man. Give me some time. I'll surprise you.
Oh, man. So another full house here. There's a lot to talk about. Cyberpunk is out. The Game Awards happened. It's a big week. It's a big week in games, guys. It's a big week. The year's almost over. It's almost time to talk about our favorite games of the year. So that Game of the Year discussion, I suppose, will happen somewhere along the way before the new year.
Yes.
Everyone enjoying
Shadow of Tomb Raider?
Yeah.
Is it not?
Yeah, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, the best game of 2018.
Yeah.
To be fair, that game is an amazing game. But
yeah, I finished it last weekend after we recorded Arsenal X, and man, is that such a good game.
It was
I
good.
really loved that story and everything.
Fun fact, the unpatched version on the disc, the ending is completely different than the version that's patched. So
it is?
Yeah, you should look it up.
I didn't know that.
There's a totally different ending. I don't even think there's a boss fight. There's just like a cutscene and like a run out of the cavern type thing and get out of here type thing. It's cool. I wish they would have kept it in because the boss fight at the end of that game is not great.
This is for Shadows of the Tomb Raider, not the first Tomb Raider?
Yeah, Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Yeah, it's
because that's when like the helicopter and all of that stuff is, and you get to the boss.
Yeah, something like that. It's been a while since I played.
Yeah, because isn't that helicopter part the boss fight? Like
no,
it's
there's
part
another.
of the level.
There's a whole nother thing after that. You
Yeah,
fight like a guy
the
with like
sun god.
yeah.
Something?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay, never mind. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. So there's that. But let's get into this housekeeping real quick before we get into the topics of the show, if I can find it. This is the Boss Rush Podcast, the flagship show of Boss Rush Video Game Podcast Network. Each and every week we get together with our friends from around the internet to talk about games and everything we love about them. If you can find the show on podcast services, YouTube, and our website on Monday mornings. If you like the show, remember to hit that subscribe button and please rate and review us on whatever service you listen to us on, and check out our entire family of shows on bossrushgames.com. Our first kind of topic here is mostly what we've been playing, but I want to hear about, we're going to talk about Cyberpunk and kind of like what's happening with that game, because if you're not playing on a PC or at least like the new gen consoles, like it seems like people are having a pretty rough time with it. But LeRon, you're playing on PC, correct? You are playing arguably the best version of the game. It's not even arguably.
Yeah.
It is the best.
Yeah,
version,
and I'm playing
let's be
with
honest.
outdated tech because I'm on a 10 series graphics card. I'm not on a 30 series graphics card.
Scrub.
So I don't even have ray tracing available to me right now, but I do have HDR.
Scrub.
Yeah, I know.
Are you enjoying Cyberpunk? Because I've been like, I wasn't like interested in getting. I mean, I was interested in it, but I was like, maybe I'll wait for the next gen versions. Maybe I'll wait for it to go on sale or whatever. But the more and more I watch people play this game, I'm like, I really want to play it. I don't know if it's worth diving in today.
I feel like I have so many different answers for this question. I have an answer that, if CD Projekt Red ever thought about like wanting to sponsor us and send us free stuff, like my answer might screw that. and my honest opinion, okay, first of all, here's a question I have for you. Do you enjoy first-person shooters?
Yes.
Because first-person shooters are not my thing, so it's a challenge for me. Ed saw it last night on my stream. It was like, man, sometimes I was capping them headshots, and other times like, man, I shot the window behind that dude while he was standing still. But yeah, so that was the challenge for me. I will say this: if you enjoy first-person shooters and stuff, and you kind of like another thing is like I like Cyberpunk stories, not Cyberpunk the game per se. I like Cyberpunk stuff. Like I'm a big Ghost in the Shell fan. I'm a big fan of Blade Runner, of the Blade Runner series and stuff like that. Things like that, all that futuristic stuff. So it was right up my alley. Just the whole thing, like I had to make the adjustment for first-person stuff. If you're already a first-person shooter player, though, you enjoy those type of games, though, I don't see you having that big of a problem with this. And yeah, it has RPG elements in it. So think of how like Mass Effect, like mashed up third-person elements with RPG elements, and then you kind of got an idea of what's going on there. Now, I will say this: you are right. The PC version, I feel like honestly, CD Projekt Red was initially developing this game for the PC, and I wholly appreciate that because in this day and age, usually developers do for console first, then they port to PC, and then we see the most substandard PC ports of games, of the most popular games out there. And it's like, man, I should have bought this on PS4. Man, I should have bought this on Xbox, and stuff like that. So I understand like the anxiety and the angst that people are feeling when they're playing like the older edition consoles. And I say the older edition consoles because we're moving into next gen. And I think CD Projekt Red was probably prepared for the next gen, but they weren't as prepared as they should have been because of how deep in development they were with Cyberpunk at the time. So they had to shift their assets and stuff, and that's why it seems like it's playing a little bit better on PS5 and Xbox Series X, and things like that. So I say to you, to answer your initial question, I think you will enjoy it, but if you feel like you need to take the wait and see attitude, I completely understand. I do.
I think they benefited on PC from the fact that it is between generations. And, they probably weren't able to, do the next gen stuff, didn't have everything ready to work on that. So they could get a quicker jump on the PC stuff and getting that ready because we won't be getting the next gen stuff until next year. So
yeah.
And I know for me, I thrown a whole bunch of grain of salt. And everybody could look at all our past episodes on how I felt like I think everything that they're showing is cutscenes and not representation of the game.
I mean, that's
I'm not
every
knocking
game,
the
though.
game. But I'm not knocking Cyberpunk for what it is. I know it has a lot of technical problems at this moment and everything. I think a lot of people's hype and anticipation were kind of dropped when all of these problems came out, and the expectations kind of went downhill when more videos was being posted, and people was wondering why even with the reviews that they was giving the PC and not console, started placing doubts on it and stuff.
That's honestly because it was being developed for PC first. Like the PC assets were the first assets they could get out the door.
Yeah,
that's really what it was.
That game, if you're running a top tier PC, that game looks incredible. It looks like one of those fake games that people play on TV almost. You know what I mean? That's how good it looks on PC. And I'm just like, man, it's incredible.
And I think showing it a lot on Xbox stage at E3, everybody's thinking that the what they're representing, what they're showing is going to be actual running on whatever hardware that you got that was going to be running on.
Well,
Xbox
Microsoft
One.
is technically PC also, man.
Yeah,
like I mean,
Microsoft.
Microsoft.
You also have to realize something. Oh, go ahead, Corey.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, Microsoft paid for the advertising for that game, and they want that game associated with Microsoft, whether you're playing on an Xbox or PC or whatever, you know.
Are they selling it on Windows, or is it just Steam and GOG?
I don't
GOG,
know.
Steam. I think there's one other platform that's on. It's not on EGS. It's not on Epic.
Yeah,
but
because I know it's on Stadia. And when you saying that, Corey, I was just thinking that, you know, mostly for a lot of Xbox fans or Microsoft fans, they're thinking of Xbox, not so much PC. So I was wondering if they were selling it on Windows, on Windows PC.
On the Microsoft Store, I don't think it's on there. As a matter of fact, it's not even touted on Game Pass for my PC. It's not touted on Game Pass for my PC, and that's basically the Microsoft Store version of Xbox.
So it's only for their console. So probably people was thinking about, I'm going to get this great game, even with the marketing on Xbox, and probably the best experience with One X. Go ahead, Jacob. I'm sorry.
Moving forward, I mean, so are y'all thinking that this is suffering from like a Destiny syndrome where they have to keep it on last gen and next gen? And so with Cyberpunk 2077 2, although that won't be the name, do you think that's when they're going to be 2078? There you go.
I don't think it's so much the Destiny thing. I think that they had high ambition for this, that it was going to be an amazing game when it came out, and I think they didn't meet that.
Who had high expectation? Because I think as far as CD Projekt Red's plan for launching on PC, like, it's meeting their expectations.
I think ambition for console. I think just this game being out, you know, because it's been in development for so long. This is
exactly what I said. I'm like, look, I remember like The Witcher 3 was not great when it came out, right? Like it was like, I mean, it was a good game, but like it went through so many patches and so many expansions and so many like upgrades and stuff before it became the game that it is now. Like the combat system is totally different. The some of the character models and some of the way that a lot of the things work in that game, they changed over time because they took player feedback. And I see Cyberpunk becoming the game that people wanted it to be now.
It evolves.
Maybe like a year from now, or when they drop that multiplayer thing, or you know what I mean? Like I feel like the day one people are kind of like, I don't know, like almost like a beta group, and they're going to take that feedback and see what they need to fix and see what they can change to make the experience better. So when people buy it later down the road for 40, 30, 20 bucks, like they'll get the best possible experience, you know?
I think, and I think a lot of people, and I've been saying this with CD Projekt Red, that they have mostly did a lot of their work on PC. They have been known for a lot of their games being released on PC. So for them to come out and put products on console, it's a whole different thing. Just like you said, The Witcher 3, that game took time to evolve. It's surprising that it's running on Switch even at this moment and stuff, you know. So everybody
played The Witcher on Switch. It's great.
But yes,
I'm still not trying to drop $60 for it on Switch.
I didn't. I got it for $30 when it was on sale.
Right, wait for a sale. Wait for a sale.
We're not going to talk about Nintendo and their sales. I'm still kind of
raw. How about no? Okay, so
$40.
Doom Eternal just came out on Switch, right? They had like a big Bethesda sale.
Yeah.
Doom 2016 on the Switch. As much as I love my Switch, I love Nintendo, right? I love it. Doom 2016 is still $40 on Switch.
And the bad thing about it is $5.99 on Xbox One right now.
I know.
But I think with CD Projekt Red doing more stuff for console now, you know, doing more stuff for console instead of doing console and PC, I think they're still learning. I think right now, for at this time, it's something that you want to experience as a role-playing game, as a shooter. I think if you get past the technical bugs, if you get less crashes and a lot of patches come up, I think you should just go in for the experience of the story and the lore, because that's what I plan to do with this game. When LeRon was streaming it and he was talking about the lore and stuff, I was into it. I love seeing the video, and it was like, oh, this is so good. Like they are deep. Like it's a lot of stuff to this game.
It's ridiculous because my stream last night was just over 2 hours, but 40 minutes of that was character creation. And yes, you saw my guy's naughty bits.
That's the game. That's the part I'm most excited for, is the character creation. Like as much as like Mass Effect Andromeda was just like an okay game when I played it, like that character creation was like everything I wanted from a character creation.
Well, it's crazy because I usually just go default character, don't change his name, and I start the game. But I was like, you know what? Let me see what's going on here. You know, I wasn't even trying to be a perv and like see people's junk and stuff. I was like, let me just see what's going on here. This character creation.
That's not true. He moved that slider all the way over.
It's like in Saints Row.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna need to duct tape that to my leg.
Hey, Jesse, I mentioned to LeRon in the chat while he was streaming, I was just like, man, Saints Row 3 got some of the best customization.
Yes.
Because, man, I love that game and customizing. Like, they just open it up with it. So, but yeah, I think...
And then, like, another portion of the stream was, I want to say, what? I spent 30 minutes reading everything I picked up in that game, that stream last night.
I have one question before we kind of, like... move on from this, but like, is it more like first person? Would it be like more like first person Mass Effect, or is this just like a better version of Fallout?
I think it's first person Mass Effect in my opinion.
Okay, because that's that would
Deus Ex.
That would really like sway
actually Cyberpunk in my opinion, because I actually said this on stream. Remember last night? I was like, this is like the successor to Deus Ex in my opinion.
I've heard like the podcast I listened to that kind of talked about it. They said that it was like Deus Ex meets Fallout, like basically.
Because that would really sway my decision. Because like I don't really care for Fallout, but I do love Mass Effect and I liked Deus Ex. So like, would it be more towards the Mass Effect Deus Ex style, or it's less Fallout?
I think when you start out, it's probably gonna feel like Mass Effect, and then when you later on, would you achieve more like powers and weapons and technical abilities, I think it's going to fall into the Deus Ex mode.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only thing that really, from what I've heard and everything, that is really, really similar to Fallout is there is a lot of junk to fill your inventory. From dildos to whatever. You can just like there's so much junk that you can just pick up everywhere. Like it's just everywhere, like in the Fallout games. Just like those, you can trade that junk in for currency or whatever. Mm-hmm. So it's very similar in that way, but I feel like otherwise, other than like the bugs and stuff.
That's the
only thing it's like Fallout.
I think I only encountered 2 bugs. There was one bug where it was something. Remember, Ed? I couldn't pick up something off the floor.
Yeah.
And there was
by your room.
And there was one other bug. Crap. What was it? I can't remember. It was something that was it kind of bugged me, but at the same time, it wasn't enough to like ruin my experience, and it didn't stop the gameplay. But there was one funny thing, right? Like we like. In the prologue, because like everything I played last night in the stream was just the prologue. There was one part, like as soon as we finished the mission, home dude's like, let's go home, and he walks through a door and there's like a giant gaping hole in the wall that we blew into the wall. But the door still worked.
Exactly. I will say everybody's calling this one on the consoles the Switch version of Cyberpunk, and I was just like the shade, the truth.
Yeah,
like on base Xbox One and PS4 is so clunky and slow, and texture popping and stuff.
You know what? As the PC guy here on the show, I'm gonna say this, and you know what? I'm saying this with maybe like 10% malice, but 90% love. I'm glad for a change. We got a game that plays better on the PC than it plays on the consoles, because I get tired of getting games for the console from the console that port to the PC, and it's like, man, I'll just wait for like the 20,000th patch and then finally play it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and to be fair though, with PC, when you've got so many options of like tweaking things and all that, like like I think that's the problem, is a lot of people are finding that when they turn certain things on or off or whatever, like there's like a perfect way to set up things up that it will just all of a sudden start working really well.
And you know what? That's the one thing I do respect about console gaming. Console gaming, like, the developers try to put the game out there and they try to put it on the most universal setting so everybody has the same experience across that. PC, they're like, hey, it's the Wild Wild West. You
go have fun.
Hey, you get cholera out there. You know what? Hey, I hope you live.
Oh
man. So shit, man. Now I feel like I want to play this game.
I really say wait for the patches. I think more patches are coming out for it. I would say just wait for it probably next year to get a patch and then get the game.
It's a single player experience, right? Yes. There's no multiplayer.
Yeah.
Okay.
I caved today. It's got to download, but the problem is on Game Pass too. If I buy it, I get 6,000 credits towards the rewards thing.
Oh, so you do? You get 6,000 points for? Oh man, now that's an incentive, because that's like that's a free indie game. Or that's like
now I have 12 credits.
That's like
12,000 credits.
That's like 10. That's like 10,000 silver in Destiny to go buy stuff.
Yeah.
I gotta look. I wonder how many Steam points I got. You know what? Never mind. I know for sure I didn't get that many Steam points off of it.
Oh man. All right. Jacob, we're gonna go your way.
You got 12 days though, Corey. Just to let you know, 12 days still that you could buy it and get those credits.
It's fair, No, I gotta do it. If I'm gonna do it, I gotta do it today. Jacob, what are you playing?
Man, I just received a copy of Immortals Phoenix Rising, so I'm going to dive into that today on stream. I have to finish the mainline story of Pokemon Sword. I need to beat the champion, and then I'm going to dive into Immortals. So that's what I'm looking into. I've 100%ed Breath of the Wild now. Not Breath of the Wild, Age of Calamity now. That game is probably my personal game of the year, on the Nintendo side of things.
And we just
sounds like we know who's joining the PAL Block Game of the Year discussion this year.
But the thing about this, me and Jacob has been having side conversations, and it literally elevated, like, combining what we have talked about, Corey, combining what me and Celeste has talked about, and Dan and David, and even our other David, like, all talking about Hyrule Warriors, where Breath of the Wild 2 could go.
It's nuts, man.
It's mind blowing how everybody's theories can all come true and play a part.
Wow.
I just wish that, like, there's a part of me that really wants to play that. Because of my love for Zelda, but there's the other part of me who absolutely hates those kind of games.
To be fair, Jesse, it feels better than most Muso games, to be honest. Because like I played about an hour of it the other night before I went to bed, and it's
I will pick it up eventually.
It feels a lot more like the combat feels a little bit more. Now, granted, don't get me wrong, it's still one of those games, but it feels like they took more time. It almost feels like what they did with Fire Emblem Warriors in a way, where like, it's that type of game, but they added some elements of Fire Emblem into that game, like the triangle rock paper scissors system, and this one they like. I think Empa is like my favorite character to play as, because she can basically like clone herself and do all these other different cool abilities with it, and it's like, man, this changes the game. Like, I don't want to play as anybody else right now.
And I could actually tell you, like, the story and the music in this game is just like Koei Tecmo has done a fantastic job with Nintendo doing this game. They kind of, I was telling Jacob, they kind of got their reputation back working with Nintendo since Metroid Other M. Like, this story is really good. You really like the cast of characters. The animation looks great. It's a really well-developed game, and you really get into what they have to offer. You don't have, if you want to do the side quest stuff, go ahead and do that. That would take you years to finish. But if you want to straight mainline this game and for the story and get it, you could do it, and it's amazing.
It is. Shout out to, real quick, I just want to say this. Shout out to Rebellity. That's my lady in the chat. She pointed out, if you love Zelda in any form, it doesn't matter. This game is worth it. Like, it's the longest mission is like 22 minutes, 23 minutes long if you're like hustling and getting through it. So you never really hit a point where you're like, oh, I'm just slogging along, killing stuff, and I feel so tired of it. And they do a really good job of drip feeding you your combos so that you always have something new to do each mission.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, see that's really that's like, you know, sounds good to me, because that's the problem is too many times with those games, it's just like button mash, and you can just like feel like you know, it just feels like a button masher, and you know, or just a button pressing game where honestly, that's all you're doing, and you're not really.
Link is really the only
button masher.
Yeah, like he's the only button masher so far.
Okay.
Link is very much like your typical, like, Dynasty Warriors. To me, the way they changed weapons, they all felt the same. It was just a different look to how they did it. But for this, each character feels totally different playing wise. And they all have. Go ahead.
And I like the idea of being able to play as the Guardians or whatever, you know, the champions.
Yeah. But story-wise, this game knocks it out of the park. Like, and you don't expect it because it's a Warriors game, but it's good.
I love Impa, but you both that's the queen. She's my diva. I love her. Like, she could step on me at any time, and I'll be like, "Can I have another?" We're gonna move on though. I'm sorry.
Jacob, what else are you playing?
You pervert.
No, I haven't been playing anything else. It's just that, like I said, Hyrule Warriors. I played a little bit of Animal Crossing. Oh, I played Smash. I played Smash Brothers because the man himself, the king of evil, Sephiroth, got announced. We might talk about that later, but oh my god. I played a ton of Smash yesterday and had a lot of fun with that. Playing with two of my best friends and some viewers in chat. It was a good time.
That's I don't want to, you know, toot my own horn here, but I did predict Sephiroth coming to Smash about what when the second fighter pass was announced. I said, you can't have Cloud in a game without Sephiroth. Sephiroth is coming at some point this year.
This is some old Nintendo pop like that we discussed this, Corey.
Yeah. So
I love the tweet going around right now that's like Cloud and Sephiroth have never been in a game, and now you couldn't imagine 10 years ago they're finally in a game together.
Someone did a video that Cloud and him disappeared from Kingdom Hearts, and now they ended up in Smash.
Yeah.
Yo, speaking of, Cloud is in Smash, Sephiroth is in Smash. Both of those characters are in Kingdom Hearts. We could have a great video of Sora coming into Smash Brothers.
Look, like Sora is like the one character I feel like would really fit, and I think won't happen because they also have to license stuff from Disney.
Yeah,
and that's gonna be the kicker that doesn't get Sora into Smash.
And even though Nintendo and Disney do have a good relationship,
unless they use a different Keyblade other than the yellow one or the basic one. Because they have different charms on them.
Yeah.
Like you could use like the Oathkeeper.
Oathkeeper, Oblivion. You could use Ultima Weapon.
Yeah.
Oh, they're gonna give him a Zelda Master Sword Keyblade or the right sword.
Man,
Jesse,
we're talking about all the games.
You get any of this, Jesse? Because I'm like Kingdom Hearts. I just checked out.
I want LeRon to stream Kingdom Hearts all the way through.
LeRon,
I tried desperately getting into Kingdom Hearts, and it just did not click with me. Like I love the characters, and I love Disney characters, and everything about that game screams that I should love it. But I just for whatever reason, I just could not get into it.
See, Jacob, they keep walking away. They don't hear us say, please. I love you, Tyler.
No. Last thing about Disney, shout out to Figment in the back of Corey.
Yes. I love Figment, dude. He's my dude. Did you hear that he might be getting his own animated movie with Dreamfinder?
Amazing. Yes, that'll be so good.
See, that's what I want. I want animated shows about those characters. Yeah, Kingdom Hearts. I don't want a game. They can keep the game. People who like it can have it. But if you give me a show, I'd be all for it.
Just saying, man, Figment's the best. They
could have their Marvel universe. Of Disney, and have that kind of stuff going on.
Figment is the greatest Disney character of all time. Nobody's ever going to change my mind. So,
yes, yeah, I agree. Although I'm partial to the Cheshire Cat myself.
That's fair. That's fair. All right, now that we've had our Disney minute,
sorry.
Jesse, are you playing anything fun, cool, neat?
Yeah, I mean, kind of like I talked about earlier, like I did end up finishing Shadow of the Tomb Raider, and that was just such an amazing game. Like I don't know, I just loved like all the settings in that game, and and just the story and stuff was pretty great. And like I really liked that the whole idea of like you kind of working with this like tribe of people and stuff, and like it felt like the story felt a little bit more meaningful than the last two. I mean, she was obviously working with other people and stuff throughout those first two, but I feel like this one just had more of an interesting storyline for me. Like I liked the gameplay and the stories in the first two, but yeah, this one just was so much better in my opinion. Like I actually cared more about a lot of the characters. I actually did some of the side missions of like, doing things for people in the village and things like that, just because, like there was some kind of important side missions that you would do, like, like finding something for someone, or or for like a wedding. I think there was one of them was you had to go get some things for something for a wedding or something like that. I don't remember, but it was kind of, like there was more interesting things outside of the main story that they gave you. So yeah, I was glad to finally finish that. And now, I'm not quite sure what I want to move on to finish next, either Dead Space 2 or possibly go finish finally Watch Dogs Legions. So, because both of those I have a pretty good start on. I also played a couple other games that were on Game Pass and stuff. I downloaded Haven, but I haven't played it yet. I know everyone loves that game. Like it sounds like a lot of people love that game, so I'm kind of looking forward to trying that. Crap, I can't remember the name of this one, but it was like onto something. I forget what it was called now, but it was like a side scroller, similar to, I don't know, like it is like a side scroller sword game, basically, where you can block, like you block things and dodge roll and stuff like that, attacks, but it's all like on the D-pad is like, press up, you block up high, down, you block down low, and then but it's a side scroller, and it's like you're basically going through and solving puzzles and trying to kind of find your way through. Like I don't know a whole lot about the story, but like it is very story driven. Like your wife and your daughter, I believe, are kind of sitting, like standing with you at one point, and you leave them and journey out into the cold and by yourself, and then there's like you run into these creatures and stuff that are underground that you have to fight, and like there's just people like slaughtered everywhere from whatever killed them. Like I think there's going to be a lot that you'll kind of uncover as to what's going on in this world. But it's pretty interesting so far. If I think of it or after the show, I'll get the name of it, and I can have you, Corey, maybe put it in the
post a trailer.
I can do that. Otherwise, I'll post it on Twitter or something like that. But yeah, I mean, it's an interesting game. It's fun. But yeah, like I, kind of jumped into Destiny 2 a little bit just to, all I ended up doing was, like tuning some things and upgrading some things, and just kind of, I was selling all of my guns. Basically, I just dismantled everything because like I have no shards, I have no nothing. So if I want to actually just forget about everything in the past in that game, I think at this point, and just try to like actually just start all over kind of, and just work forward, because I don't know, that's my problem, is I've always liked to hold on to crap. And in that game, like you basically can't do that if you want to get anywhere. You got to just keep on dismantling everything, no matter how good you may think it is. Just get rid of it, and hope that you get the same thing but better later.
Yeah,
so, it's
the
kind of hard for me to play it in that way, because that's just not against what I like to do normally. So
yeah, I mean, for the most part, like I've been playing a lot of Destiny also. I finally ran the raid, but we'll get there later. It's like I don't know, man, the 60 frames a second and 4K stuff, and just some of the graphical changes they made. Oh, it's just such a game changer. It's just a game changer, It's so
yeah, it looks really nice. I want to actually play it at some point this weekend. But yeah, because like I said, all I did was jump in. I collected a couple of things, and I didn't actually get a chance to play it. So
yeah,
just really quick stuff. So
yeah,
but that's it pretty much for me.
Ed, playing anything fun?
So for Xbox, I picked up Tunic. And I got Cyberpunk downloading right now, so I'm waiting for that. But I'm going to be jumping into Ori 2 and Doom Eternal, so I get ready for the discussion.
Welcome to the list of games Ed's going to play, not playing currently.
And Beyond Light, I'm jumping in Wednesday. Dude, I had to work this week. I had to work 6 days straight. So like any kind of do holiday cards and stuff, that stuff is energy draining. For PS4, I'm going to be starting up Final Fantasy VII Remake. Can't wait to play that. But I am working on Marvel Spider-Man, getting through that story, so I'll complete that. Because I did the
first one
or
Miles Morales.
The first one. I never finished the Spider-Man one. I want to get ready to do Miles Morales to jump in. So I'm playing the first one, trying to get through that. For Switch, Breath of the Wild. So Ganon, Calamity Ganon. I finally got all the champions. Corey is being shady to me, so
that's not true.
Really? Yes, Eddie. Thank you for the last 4 years where you should have been in this part. I'm just like,
oh my God, you rolled yourself under the bus, man. He didn't have to say anything.
I didn't say anything. I was just sitting here.
Everybody know that he has thrown shade. Every time I talk about something, he's like, Ed, you be
well, that game came out in March of 2017,
did you
and
It came out in 2017. It's only been 3 years.
I just
almost
bought the game.
4.
I just bought the game 2 months ago, so I have not beaten it. I haven't even turned it on and preloaded it in my Switch.
You bought it 2 months ago. You didn't buy it when it came out, like this guy.
I've practically finished it like twice.
Didn't it launch with the Switch?
Yeah, that was like the big selling point of the console.
But I didn't have a Switch when it came out, so I had the
You
Wii
bought it
U
on Wii
version,
U.
and I was but then I redid everything when I got the Switch.
Ed, you might want to quit while you're at it.
Did you at least sell it for the Wii U for like a lot of money?
No,
I still have my Wii U
still have
copy
my-
sealed. I wonder how much that's worth.
Yeah, I would imagine that.
$60.
No, yeah, I know. I still got my Wii U in games and Breath of the Wild. I actually got all of them still. Wind Waker, Twilight, and Breath of the Wild for my Wii U. But yeah, did some Smash with David, and then was playing around with David. I think I'm gonna learn Terry Bogard. I think I'm gonna main him along with Ryu and Samus. Those 3. I love straight hand melee fighters. Everybody else would use a sword fighter. Dan is like destructive with Cloud, and I'm scared to fight him with Sephiroth. But that's pretty much what I have been playing. Finished Professor Layton on Switch, or Controlling the Millionaire's Conspiracy Deluxe Edition. I finished that. I'm going to be jumping into Rune Factory 4 a little bit later, and Pikmin. But yeah, that's pretty much all the stuff that I'm playing at the moment, and I'm getting ready to play. So
yeah, I still need Pikmin 3. I want to play that game.
Yeah, I think
there's a list of Switch games that I need to get yet.
I think I got most of the 2020 stuff for Game of the Year. I don't have Among Us, but I do have Hades that I need to try to see if I could finish or make a run through. But
Among Us came out like 2 or 3 years ago, so I think you're.
Yeah, it's actually an old game that just got notoriety this year.
That I've got feelings about that from the award show.
I have objections too about a few things in there.
We'll get
but
there.
yeah,
we're gonna get there.
Yeah,
we're gonna.
But that's pretty much everything that I've been playing.
Cool. Well, I'll make mine real quick because we got some stuff to go through. I mean, I've been playing Destiny. I ran through the Deepstone Crypt with Josh and Colonel Panic and our journalists and my friend Mitch and their friend Cheeks, and we made it through. We beat it. Can't wait to do it again on Tuesday or whatever day they want to invite me back if they want. Maybe not. Maybe I'm just a bad raider. I don't know. Josh is in the chat. I'm sure he'll let me know. I talked a little bit about it on Tower Casuals last week. I want to run through it again because I'm not sure really how I feel about it amongst the other raids in Destiny. I don't think
it's that good.
I don't think it opens very strong, but I do think the second encounter in particular and the final boss battle are great encounters. The third encounter, I was kind of like confused and just like shooting stuff and making sure like I just didn't die because like, you know, I think one of the things that really helps in Destiny is like not dying. So trying to get better at that. Sure. But I just feel like that first the opening kind of pike race is I didn't really feel like it opened that strong. I think there's a lot of other raids that open stronger, but I really like after thinking about it and talking about it on Tower Casuals and thinking about it since then, I'm like that final boss battle is really cool. Like this is definitely one of the most accessible raids, definitely one of the easiest raids to get into if you have never raided before. And I think maybe that's part of what I've been kind of conflicted about is like, well, I remember when we were raiding in Destiny 1, like every week, like 3 times a week, doing the hard mode of the raid and like the challenge there. And like, this isn't a particularly challenging raid, but it is a good raid to get people into a raid that's never done it before and learn like simpler raid mechanics and maybe go on to try the harder raids later. Although they've taken like half of them out of the game. So, I don't know. I really enjoy the raids in Destiny. I feel like they're the best part of the game that not a lot of people get to experience. And, I love going in there with like 6 of your friends, going out, doing the mechanics of each encounter, and coming out and being like, yes, we did it. And like getting the equipment, getting the gear, getting the guns. Still need the chest piece and the gauntlets for my Titan, but I did get the coveted scout rifle. I've got 3 of them, so Josh, you can have one, but I can't give it to you. He's run the raid like 15 times and has not gotten the scout rifle, which is what he wants really bad. So
wow, and you've gotten it 3 times.
Yeah, I got it out of 3 different chests. Yeah. So that's basically what I've been playing this week. I also dabbled a little bit more into Assassin's Creed Valhalla since they patched it on Xbox Series X. It's I think that's the game now that Destiny's kind of like I don't want to say over, but people are kind of moving on now. Cyberpunk's out. Mm-hmm. People are moving on to other things. I'm going to do the Hawk Moon quest and play Iron Banner this weekend. But I think it's time for me to like make Destiny my secondary game again. You know, like if people want to raid, I'll jump in and raid with them. Or if people want to, you know, do some of these other side quests, like I will definitely get in there. But, you know, I think it's time to put Destiny as my secondary game and start working on my backlog of games again. Because
are you planning to get Puyo 2? Or are you going to wait?
Eventually, not right now. Look, man, I've got like 4 versions of Tetris in various places. I don't need to buy another version of Tetris just to play more Tetris.
How about I do? I need to get that in Immortals.
Yeah, I want to play Immortals Phoenix Rising also. So 3 huge open world RPG style games to play now with Assassin's Creed and Immortals and Cyberpunk. It's like, man, it's a daunting task for a human being who only has about 2 to 3 hours a night to play a game, if that. So that's kind of all I've been playing. Oh, I did play a little bit more of Hyrule Warriors this week too, but we talked enough about that. It's fun. It just makes me want Breath of the Wild too, though. It's not like man, Hyrule Warriors makes me want to play more Hyrule Warriors. It makes me want to play Breath of the Wild too, you know. So we're gonna. Ed,
did you say LeRon? LeRon said Cyberpunk.
Oh, yeah.
Well, so that's the only game y'all think I'm playing?
Yeah, kind of.
Man, well, I'll keep my list short and sweet then. Yes, I am playing Cyberpunk. I am enjoying it right now.
Oh, I thought I am. Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
No. You got to skip me. Y'all hate me.
You went first. We talked about Cyberpunk.
Well, you asked me about Cyberpunk. I didn't know this was the game to get down. No. Okay, yeah, I am playing Cyberpunk. That's not the main game I'm playing right now, though, because I'm wrapping up Miles Morales. As a matter of fact, this weekend is the last weekend I should be playing the game. Final Fantasy VII Remake is also still taking up some time, as well as Fire Emblem Three Houses. And Corey, you'll be happy because I picked up the Valkyria Chronicles 4, the complete edition off the store. It dropped half off on sale, so I got that whole thing.
When?
Great. That's a great game.
Before last weekend.
That's a wonderful game.
It's on Game Pass, isn't it?
Is it on Game Pass? I don't know.
Four only, I think.
I think 4 is on Game Pass, but I had my eye on I had my eye on the Switch version because I was like, I'm guaranteed to play it on the Switch.
There's a lot of anime lady parts in that game.
Oh, and what, in 4?
Yeah.
Jiggle.
Okay.
Jiggle physics or whatever it was.
Okay, some tiggle bitties. Okay.
I need to see if it's still on sale. I've been meaning to pick this game up. I've been wondering for so long, and then I keep missing the sale.
It's a great, like, let me do one mission before bed type game and move on.
Well, welcome to my pain because like I sure did miss that freaking Fire Emblem sale.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Welcome
Didn't
to my
you
world.
buy it like
Isn't it on sale
like
again?
a week? Yeah, but he bought it like a week before it went on sale.
Yeah.
Reach out to Nintendo's customer service. They
no. It was a store-bought copy because that's one of those ones.
Okay.
There's certain games I feel like they have to be physical copies on the Switch. There's certain games, and Fire Emblem's one of them.
Okay.
LeRon, which one did you get? You got the complete edition
Of
Valkyrie Chronicles.
Yeah, the complete edition. It's the one that has it's the game and all that DLC.
Oh, it's $49.99.
Yep, that's yeah. I got it for $25.
It drops all the time. Sega puts sales on the Switch all the time. It's like the main game is like $9.99, and with the DLC is $14.99 all the time.
Then I'll wait. Oh, I didn't know it was on sale. I'm trying to snag it on sale. Okay. I really want to play that game.
How are you feeling about Fire Emblem, LeRon?
Oh, I love it. It's kind of. I'm not even sure why I waited so long for it. I'm not sure if because I've had my Switch for 2 years.
You're
how long?
A strange human being.
Yeah, I mean, you know what it was when I heard that when I heard the Fire Emblem was coming out for the Switch, but it was completely different from the Fire Emblem games I was used to playing because I played the GBA and DS games. Mm-hmm. I was like, maybe I'll wait, because I wanted to make sure that it was gonna still be a game that I would enjoy. Because I mean, in all honesty, like the Fire Emblem has honestly looked the same since the NES days. It has really. Mm-hmm. So and probably about the biggest upgrade before the Switch version came out was what happened to it on a 3DS, and I actually like that. But then when they were saying, "Oh yeah, it's completely redone and all this stuff," I was like, "I'll wait." And then I heard people playing it and talking about it and stuff, and I was like, "Okay, I'll get it." And then I just wound up not getting around to it. And then when I was finally ready to get it, I was like, "Why is the game still $60? Like the game's been out for like half a century now."
Because it's a Nintendo game. They never
exactly.
Breath of the Wild is on sale digitally this week for $45. I'm like, man, that game's 4 years old.
I got that game for $20. I got it on Best Buy when it knocked down to $40, and I used a $20 Best Buy voucher. I'm not paying more than $30 for Breath of the Wild. That was a launch title.
Yeah, and it's still on the NPD list. So
I mean, don't get me wrong, it's still a fantastic game, but it's
honestly one of those titles that when a new Switch is bought, it's usually bought with that game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Animal Crossing.
To be fair, though, isn't 1-2 Switch still full price?
Yeah, it is.
That's
Trust me.
And the thing about it, that's if you can find it.
Look,
the physical.
My nephews think 1-2 Switch is the greatest game ever made. They every time they come over here
with all those copies of ET.
I set up my Xbox One X in my office with a little TV for them to play when they come over here, and I put a bunch of games on it that they are allowed to play. The other day they left here and they're like, "You think the next time we can come over we can play that 1-2 Switch game instead of your Xbox?" I'm like, dude, you got Crash Team Racing on here. You got Lego Star Wars and Indiana Jones. You got all these cool kids games on here. You want to play 1-2 Switch? Get out of here.
You ain't coming back.
Yeah.
Like, Uncle Corey, can we play?
Yeah. I mean, you disappoint me.
Yeah. So, all right, let's get into these topics here. I mean, the Game Awards happened. We're gonna kind of maybe not talk about every single thing because there was a lot, but we're gonna talk about the announcements first, and then we'll talk about the winners because the announcements. Let's be honest, are way more appealing than the winners.
For real,
because who watches the Game Awards for the awards? I think they should just Jeff Keighley's announcements is what it should just be called.
Right.
What are some of your favorite announcements? I know people have mentioned Sephiroth and Smash. Are people excited for Sephiroth and Smash? I don't know. I don't like Final Fantasy VII.
I have watched the reactions, and people have lost their mind.
Our very own Dan set the conversation on fire that night when he saw that reveal.
It was the most interacted with tweet from the Game Awards account of the entire night.
Yeah,
coming to Smash.
Yeah, they said that thing was just. They said that announcement was the game show, the Game Awards, and that was it.
I must be gaming wrong because I was just I don't care. I don't know. I like Smash. I played a lot of Smash, but I just I don't know. I would have. This to me was the most boring announcement of the night. I'm like, Cloud is in the game. Clearly, Sephiroth is coming at some point.
Honestly,
but it was unexpected on how they revealed it.
I enjoyed the reveal of it because I'm just I'm kind of romantic about Final Fantasy VII. So just hearing the Advent Children battle music, I was like, man, okay, you know what? This is a good reveal. But overall, I will say this: Nintendo's fans and Smash fans, y'all can't say another damn thing because y'all were ready to like raise hell and drop Nintendo into the void. You know, the last couple of weeks, and Sephiroth is in Smash, and now you know what happened with Nintendo last week. They did what? Oh no, we don't know what you're talking about.
Right.
That's what everyone was
still
saying, man.
Nintendo's still a bad company. Oh, Smash. Oh, Sephiroth.
Exactly. Right. Yeah.
It's just like you can't be mad at. You can't love them for one thing, be mad at them for another thing, then love them again.
That's what we were all talking about.
That's literally how the internet works.
Ed, well, you and I were saying it. What Wednesday night? You and I were saying it. We're like. Well, I mentioned this. Like, Nintendo fans are cut from a different cloth from the rest of the gaming community. Like their love and their adoration for Nintendo properties and stuff is unrivaled. I mean, shoot. I can't think of another entity or franchise in gaming that gets that type of respect that Nintendo does, and I don't hate on it for that. Which is why like Nintendo knows that they have these type of fans. So like when they do this stuff that gets them automatic bad press, like they shut down a crowdfunder for a very good charity. And stuff like that, you know, and it's like, you know, like, okay, you guys understand, like, you're the most influential thing in video games, and if people love your stuff enough that, you know, they don't even realize they're violating the law, you know, to do something because they love it, you know, like, there's a teachable lesson here for both the people that are committing the crime and for the people who are trying to enforce the rules. There's a teachable moment for everybody, and that's the biggest takeaway from all this, you know. So yeah, Nintendo fans, I'm always going to give you the side eye. You know, because you talk out of one side of your mouth, and then you got your hands behind your back doing something with your wallet. So you know,
and the thing, and I think people know that even though that you could be mad at Nintendo, you're always going to use their products to get some kind of recognition or something, you know, to be like, I'm to show your love and appreciation. And I keep saying, I don't know why I keep saying it, but I'm just like, I wish that Sony and Microsoft was still getting this love and appreciation with their products, for a lot of their IPs, because
the closest Sony gets is Kratos and Ratchet and Clank. I've seen people do some foolish things about God of War.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like Sony's fan base is similar. They do turn a blind eye occasionally to things, like, or you know, just like it doesn't always get the you know, the criticism sometimes that it deserves. But that's with everything. Like every level of gaming, whatever you play on, there's always going to be people that just, you know, are just like kind of annoying at a certain point with things. But yeah. I mean,
yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to finger wag at Nintendo. I wasn't planning to do it.
Sure, sounds like you are.
No, well, I mean, you know, to be fair though, we do need to have conversations about these things. You know, I think unfortunately this is going to be an even bigger conversation. I mean, now you've got like politics entering this battlefield where now it's going to be a felony to stream music or any of that kind of stuff.
If that bill passes.
I don't think that's going to pass.
Well, I mean, they like to throw stuff like that into things. You know, that's the problem, though. Is it might not this particular version of it might not pass, but you know, it's like the whole net neutrality kind of thing too, where they can just rework things and try to, you know.
The main reason why I feel it's not going to pass, like, number one, you're making a felony for stuff that, you know, like, it's going to be hard to get around. Like, like a lot of people, like I was put through turmoil like Wednesday night when Cyberpunk launched, because I was like, what do I do about the copyrighted music that's featured in the game? You know, like, yeah, they have a mode in there where you can turn the copyrighted music off, and ultimately I turned it off. But it got me to thinking. I was like, man, like, this is stuff that's already in the game, which means, like, technically the licenses have already been paid for by the people who published it and developed the stuff. And you're still saying, and then we have this thing traipsing, you know, across our news feeds this morning talking about, like, it could be a felony for this stuff. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. You know, I'm like, you know, there's going to be all sorts of ramifications on both sides of the table on this one.
Yeah,
like,
I think they're going to have to. There's just going to have to be an evolution, I think.
Yeah.
Well, I think Sephiroth is going to really show why streaming is important, because people are going to be looking at this. Yeah, because everybody's going to be watching Smash, definitely with Sakurai once we get the release date, which I think it'll be the day that he talks more about it. I think people are going to be streaming Smash still, and people are going to be watching it. And these businesses know that when a game is hot and people stream it, it helps with marketing for that part. But Jacob, what do you think about this Sephiroth? Are you planning on learning him? Are you going to be smashing fools, or like what?
I mean, yeah, man, absolutely. That there was no doubt about that in my mind. I bought the Smash DLC pack, the second one, as soon as it was announced. I bought the first one as soon as it was announced. I would not, to what LeRon was saying, I would not at all be surprised if Nintendo was not planning to announce Sephiroth at Game Awards until after the controversy started and all this stuff came up, because they 100% know that they're able to drop some news and have everyone forget. They absolutely know that.
How many characters we got left? Don't we got?
There's 3. There's 3 more characters.
3 more. That's
wait. So they've got 3 more planned to drop.
3 more planned to drop.
3 next year.
Yeah.
Man,
because it's Sephiroth, Min.
Mega Man's not in yet.
Steve.
No,
Mega Man's already
one of the ARMS characters.
Yeah.
Mega Man's been there since Smash came out.
He thought you said Mega Man, not Min.
Oh, Min.
Yeah. That's what I thought.
ARMS.
Who was the second character?
Steve.
Oh yeah, Minecraft Steve.
Yeah, which was the best thing about him is how he doesn't move whenever you hit him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. 2 of my 3 predictions are Jonesy from Fortnite with like alternate skins for Fortnite characters, and young Impa from Hyrule Warriors. Those are my 2 of the 3 are coming. And then probably someone like Crash or Crash. We're gonna say Crash.
Honestly, Crash would be a big deal, because Crash has actually helped Nintendo sell over in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Was Terry Bogard this part?
Terry Bogard was the second to last
season.
on the first.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I would give reproductive body parts to see Shovel Knight and Smash, but
oh my gosh, yes. No, dude, I'm right there with you. I want, or like because he's already an assist trophy, so like Shield Knight or Spectre Knight or any of those wonderful characters.
I feel like they're going to get Orchid from Killer Instinct.
Orchid?
Yeah. Did I say Orchid? Yeah, I did. Yeah, because of Rare and Microsoft and Nintendo,
that game seems
like
too
relationship,
brutal.
Like female character that which you bring into Smash for a DLC. Because there's only been 2 or just 1 or just Min. I think she was the only female.
No,
for
Byleth, technically, I guess, if you want to.
Oh, okay. But yeah, like, I think Orchid would be.
Well, but from the DLC.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I really don't have much.
Yeah. I mean, we can.
I really don't have much to weigh in on this. I'm not. I've never been a Smash Brothers player. I've never had fun playing the game. Like, I still don't understand how it winds up being included in fighting game expos like Evo and stuff like that.
Here come the comments.
It's the community. They made it a fighter. You know, for me, really,
because like me and Dan said it a couple weekends ago. Like, this is a glorified party game.
Yeah. To me though, it was that Ghouls and Ghosts resurrection. I was just like, wait, Capcom, what are you doing? Like, this dropped right after the Monster Hunter demo, and I was just like, wait, what?
Yeah, I was not expecting a Ghosts and Goblins like. But then again, this is not the first time Ghosts and Goblins has been redone. They redid it for the PSP.
Yes. Yeah, but that updated art style looks like a Flash game, though.
Oh yeah, it does. It's like,
it looks so weird and bad. I don't like it. They should have. I was making the joke on my stream that when I was doing it, that they should have stopped like right before they added in the like overlay of CGI stuff. When it was like still hand drawn, that would have been great.
Yeah, I was just happy to see it. Like everybody. Too. Like y'all should, LeRon should know my comments that I put in the chat. I was just like, wait, okay, yeah.
Imagine if they would have been like went for the whole Cuphead style of just like being like actual hand drawn animated and like try to be like a competitor for that. Man, for that space.
Capcom doesn't have resources for that. They're trying to get Monster Hunter 6 and Devil May Cry 6 and Street Fighter 6 and
I also think
it's a whole bunch of sixes, right?
Speaking of Smash, I also think a Monster Hunter character
as a matter of fact,
has a great chance of dropping in the spring when Monster Hunter Rise comes out.
Oh yes, please.
For the next DLC.
Monster Hunter.
If a character shows up, that would be awesome.
Yes,
I'm guessing one will show up in Fortnite.
I would get back in Fortnite for that.
Wait.
Because
a Monster Hunter in Fortnite? How?
Well, because
they have Chief and Kratos and the Mandalorian and Marvel characters and Batman and.
Oh, so you mean they're just trying to get like anything that's like the hot commodity as far as properties?
Okay. No, specifically hunters.
I feel like
that's the whole thing. Is what's happening right now is. One of the main Fortnite character was given a mission to go find the best hunters of any universe.
Oh, you know what?
So that's why he's got Master Chief, he's got Kratos, they've got Mandalorian. So anything is on the table, basically.
I feel like they're probably pulled from Devil May Cry if they're going to pull a Capcom franchise for that. That's how I feel.
For Smash.
For Fortnite.
Oh, for Fortnite, yeah. I know everybody's still hoping for Samus, but
I think that will probably happen.
That'll probably happen in this next couple weeks or so. But
the one announcement that got me really amped was the Callisto project because I was not, and also Josh Finney mentioned it. Perfect Dark caught me by surprise too. But going back to Callisto project, man, like when I was seeing it, I was like, I am getting like a Dead Space vibe here. But when they turned around and said Glenn Schofield and his team was on it, I was like, oh man, like they could just have my money. As a matter of fact, I rarely ever buy like Ultimate Editions and stuff like that. I will spend the extra money if they decide they were going to have like a deluxe edition or Ultimate Edition bundle on this. I will spend the money because Dead Space is still one of my favorite sci-fi franchises since Mass Effect and Metroid.
It was the monster when they showed it, and it was like in space. I'm just like this. Something the vibe of it says Dead Space.
Yeah.
While it was going.
Actually, that monster didn't strike me as like because everyone's trying to say my monster was like a necromorph. I was like, no, this monster is not a necromorph. This if I didn't know any better, I would have said this is something from like the Doom franchise. The way it looked, it was just like some mutilated mass,
Actually, someone said it's like The Last of Us meets Dead Space, or The Last of Us meets Aliens. When you look at the design of it, but I think just them being on that space station, I'm just like something about this feel like Dead Space. And then when all the information came out, I was just like, "Yep, this is a day one purchase."
Yeah, you had the little light thing on the back of his neck, and you had there's all those subtle things.
Yeah, the barcode from him being a prisoner and stuff. Yeah.
I freaked out a lot over Crimson Desert.
Oh,
I'm jumping games.
Yeah,
sorry.
No. The only problem is though, like they could have done a lot better with that trailer. I mean,
it looks good. It looks good when they're walking through the environments, but when the gameplay happens and all the stuttering,
it's like wow, like you couldn't get a build that was running past 20 frames.
Oh man, but it's so early on in the build.
Oh, I know, I know. But you know what? I appreciate it though. Here's the one thing I always say: I appreciate a gameplay trailer more than I'll ever appreciate an actual like trailer spot. I appreciate those, but it's like, come on, guys, like, come on, like, you could. I understand. I understand though.
What was that? What was that first? I think it was like the first game that they announced where they showed cutscenes and then they switched over to gameplay.
Oh, I know. I know what
Dead
you were.
Something.
Oh God, I can't.
Is it Evil West?
No, not Evil Dead. It was Dead for something.
Back for Blood.
Back for Blood.
Back for Blood.
Okay.
It's the predecessor to the Left 4 Dead games.
Is that game by Valve or is it a different?
No, it's Turtle Rock.
That's the original. That's the original studio that did the original Left 4 Dead, and they wound up having bad blood. They wound up having bad blood with Valve for the way they handled the Left 4 Dead franchise.
Why does that name sound familiar?
They did Evolve at launch.
That's okay. That's what I was.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because they tried to go off and do their own thing, and do something different from what they had been known for. But yeah, like and it's like I still to this day, it is a shame that game didn't do well because it had phenomenal things to it, like the levels that you played in and the characters and everything about that game was great, but for whatever reason, it just did not all come together very well.
I think. Wait, are we talking about Left 4 Dead?
No, for Evolve.
Oh, Evolve, yeah.
Because I mean, it had so many great things about it that ultimately, like everyone basically jumped on and started cloning. I mean, you had like the Friday the 13th games and like all these games that have become massive now, like massive PC games.
I feel like that game just hit at the wrong time.
Yeah, it was like before its time, ultimately.
Yeah.
Because now everyone loves those kind of games.
Yeah.
It's almost...
Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, it's almost like it's like the Among Us thing, where it's like you've got the one trader, except for the trader is a very giant monster that's awesome to watch move around.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. For me, I think the two biggest things were Perfect Dark. I thought that trailer was cool, but that game's got to be at least 2 years out. Like, I mean, they're still hiring over at the initiative. I was a little surprised to see that it was going to be a first-person game. I thought it was going to be like a third-person stealth action kind of. I thought they were going to take it in a totally new direction.
Can I ask you guys a question? Do you think? I'm still going to ask it. Do you think that Rare can't do their own games anymore, like Perfect Dark? And
no, they don't want to.
I think they're just focused on Sea of Thieves and Everwild.
Do you think they're just like the party game studio now?
No, they just
Everwild
is
like a
stuff.
Third-person action RPG.
Okay.
Because I think it's just they want to make new stuff. They've done all that stuff already.
Yeah,
they're done with it.
I mean,
they want to move on, evolve, let someone else do it if they want to.
Yeah, I mean, Microsoft doesn't. Microsoft technically has those IPs, so they can have another studio do those, right? That's why the initiative's doing Perfect Dark, and I think that's a great.
That's why.
First project.
Oh, and I'm not knocking Rare or anything. It was just this is like the second of their IP that Microsoft has gave to another studio. So I was just wondering, is like a lot of
Rare's IPs are Microsoft's IPs now. Mm-hmm. I mean, if they ever sold Rare, those IPs go with Rare. Like that's part of the agreement. But like those are while Microsoft owns Rare, those are Microsoft's IPs. They can do whatever they want with them.
So they could give it to any of the studio.
Yeah,
so that's what I was just wondering, because it just feels like with Rare, I thought, like even when Killer Instinct they had someone else do it, I was just like, I thought this was a Rare game, and then with Perfect Dark, I'm just like, I thought this was a Rare game. Like I thought Rare would still maintain these and be able to make new games from them, And
I just think like Microsoft wants to make these IP flourish, and if Rare, like Rare has obviously had no issues with people using quote unquote their IP to do other, like look at Battletoads, right? I mean, Rare oversaw the project, but they had a third party developer do that for them, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like and I think that's where the initiative comes in, is like, we need a big brand that people are nostalgic for, but could still be a powerhouse in this industry if we do it right. The initiative is their brand new studio. They want to do something crazy, huge, and Perfect Dark is going to, walk that line, I feel like, or at least they're going to try to walk that line of nostalgia versus quadruple A product of today. I could see, I mean, I know this isn't going to happen. I don't think it's going to go this way, but I could almost see Perfect Dark theoretically being something in the vein of what Cyberpunk's trying to do, like an open world first-person action RPG, not in terms of like superpowers or anything or augmenting yourself, but I mean like it could be like an open world first-person action RPG with a lot of first-person shooter influences and making decisions as a secret agent. I would almost say like maybe what Alpha Protocol tried to do back in the day, like make you really feel like a secret agent doing these, like using RPG elements to upgrade your character in specific ways. And I think Perfect Dark could totally do that. But clearly this game is a way off. The trailer was cool.
Yeah.
I didn't know what
it still gave me Hitman. It still gave me Hitman vibes though, of the whole like every, like where they were doing the whole targeting and like searching on like of every person in the room kind of thing. And like because I could see them definitely doing like it being like their Splinter Cell mixed with like Hitman type kind of game, like where it's very story driven, but there's a little bit more openness, like a Hitman game to each kind of area, like which would be very similar to like a Watch Dogs Legions or Cyberpunk, much more like Cyberpunk though, like you said, where it's more story driven.
And the initiative was announced, was it 2018 or last year?
No, it was like 2017, I think, when they bought all those studios.
Yeah,
it was quite a few years ago.
So they've probably been working on this game until
partially. They've still been hiring people for stuff, but I'm sure they do have like a base. Like they have like a base core of people that have been kind of trying to get something started.
Yeah. But the other game, and LeRon, I think I want to talk to you about it specifically, is Mass Effect being shown.
Yes.
This game is clearly a sequel to both the trilogy and Andromeda. I feel like this game is going to take place way in the future. That was Liara, right? Looking for relics of the old.
Yeah.
Apparently that was Liara to Sony. Yeah. So like the Asari lived to be slightly over 1,000 years old. So
she could be probably approaching 700, 800 years old in this game by then.
Yeah, because the Andromeda Initiative, if I remember the lore correctly, it took them over 200 years to get to the Andromeda Galaxy.
250 years, I think, after the events of Mass Effect 2.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. This, so they clearly showed the Milky Way and Andromeda, all right, and then they showed as soon as they showed that, like the planet, like because in Mass Effect 1, like the title screen, like they have the planet with like the arc kind of glow to it. I was like, this is Mass Effect, and then the music started building. I was like, this. I didn't want
to believe it. As I was watching it, I was like, man, this is Mass Effect. This is a teaser trailer for Mass Effect.
I think we all knew that when they announced the Legendary Edition that the new Mass Effect was going to be coming. We probably didn't expect that they was going to announce something like this early.
Yeah. This is cool though. This is cool though, because like I wonder how this game is going to take place. Like, are you going to be a new character? Are you going to be a descendant of Shepard? Are you going to be like some type of, or are you going to play as Liara? Are you going to play as Liara?
It's also going to answer the question, like, which ending did BioWare think was canon? It's also going to do that.
I was gonna say, I didn't see the trailer thing for it, but so it is for sure BioWare though that's working on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I want my question is, will we end up seeing elements of Anthem being used in this game, just like mechanics wise, and Anthem ends up just being a demo for new mechanics?
I think the shooting will probably be in Mass Effect, because like Mass Effect 3 had great shooting, and Andromeda has some good shooting. Anthem, the gunplay in that is really good. So I think that what they learn from there, they're going to carry over to Mass Effect.
Will you have the ability to fly?
The flying.
That's what I'm wondering.
I mean, Andromeda had
Andromeda.
Yeah, Andromeda had a jetpack.
Had that.
So,
Yeah.
but
I could probably see it.
LeRon, what do you think this story is going to be about? I want to hear from you specifically.
I personally, like I said, like it all depends. Like we need to see what BioWare thinks is canon, but I think it's a thing where like if Liara's one of the main characters in the game, it's definitely like we're rebuilding from like whatever fallout happened with the Reapers. It gives us a chance to see what's happened to that universe since then. And I'll say this though, I appreciate EA and BioWare doing this, because following the news that Hudson and Dara were leaving the studios, it was one of those things where it was like they put this out there, and it was probably the best thing for the fans, because like a lot of fans were like, okay, well that's it for BioWare, and it's nice to see that they put it out there, and it shows like Mass Effect is continuing, and it just shows that like keep the faith going and all this stuff. But story elements, I have no idea. It's too early to say. Like,
I know it's just like them putting Liara as like front and center of that trailer. Really, like it got me excited. I was like, okay, this is clearly Mass Effect. Are they doing something new? And then they put Liara, so I'm like, this is clearly a sequel to the original trilogy. But then you go back and watch the trailer. They showed the Andromeda Galaxy. I'm like, so are they trying to like?
It?
Is this the bridge? Is this the bridge? And are they going to go try? Are they going to build a whole game around them trying to maybe find the arc, like the missing arc from?
Yeah, that would be insane, because just imagine because we will not know what happened between the whole thing with the Andromeda Initiative and the Ket overall, because there's no more Andromeda games coming. So it'd be crazy if they're bridging it. That there's about to be a war between two galaxies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that'd be.
I think a lot of people are gonna play Andromeda now to get that story.
I already re-downloaded it, so I can go play it again or finish it.
Yeah, I re-downloaded it too. Actually,
I played 15 hours of it. I liked what I played, and then Destiny dropped an expansion, and I got sidetracked. Okay, I'm sorry.
I haven't beaten Andromeda either, so so I'm probably gonna do the same thing for Andromeda that I'm doing with my Mass Effect trilogy replay, and I'm gonna download some mods and stuff, and enhance the experience, and just really just go all out on it.
I think
after Cyberpunk, of course.
I think I need to play it for the story again, just to refresh it. Because when I played it when it came out, I didn't really focus on the story and stuff. But I think I'm gonna focus on the story.
And Ed, I'm gonna do you a big favor here. EA, if you're listening to us, put Mass Effect Andromeda on the Switch, please.
All right, so we're just. Anybody else excited about any of the other announcements before we move on? I know we're kind of running short on time, for me at least. But does anybody else have anything else they want to say about announcements or anything?
I just want to say Endless Dungeon needs to come to every single console ever. That game gave me Cowboy Bebop vibes and
yeah. I need to rewatch that trailer.
Diablo vibes, and I'm just so here for it.
Yeah, I'm also going to have my eye on Bandai Namco's Scarlet Nexus and Outriders. I'm going to have my eye on those.
Outriders looks like the mix of Destiny and Borderlands that I really want. And I really like People Can Fly, even though Bulletstorm was a pretty decent game at the time. Like, it was pretty cool. I liked Gears Judgment, which they developed that as well. So I'm really interested to see what they do with this. I feel like not a lot of people are talking about Outriders, but I'm excited for it. So
yeah, I've seen some people bring it up on Twitter, but that one is got my interest as well.
I just haven't seen more promotion after they did the gameplay reveal for it, so that's why it got kind of put to the side. Scarlet Nexus,
I think they're waiting for their big marketing push because it's coming out in February, right? And I think like
next month
they're waiting for their big marketing push. Square Enix is publishing it, by the way, and I think they're waiting for some of this Avengers stuff to kind of like get out of the way, like the Kate Bishop stuff, and then they're really going to start marketing this because I think that's why it got pushed in the first place, was because like that was supposed to come out when the Avengers did, and then they delayed Avengers, and they thought Avengers was going to be bigger than Outriders, so they pushed Outriders to February.
Yeah,
probably
I know,
smart.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know Scarlet Nexus. I've been wanting that when they showed it, when they did the like Series X gameplay reveal. They were showing all of those trailers. Scarlet Nexus, just seeing it, I'm like, yeah, I want this game. It's a must-have for me. So I can't wait for next year to see that, to play it.
Although it seems like maybe they should have did Outriders first and spent a little more time on Avengers and brought something out that people actually want.
We're gonna move on to some like. Does anybody care about the game? Like talking about the winners of the Game Awards. I mean,
because a lot of the
really
winners, and some of them I really didn't agree with.
All right, then we're gonna pick this last topic Ed has here. Then is this. I guess Steam is adding a not safe for work section of their store. Ed.
Oh, I had heard about that.
Yes. Because Steam sells AO games, and I think they're curating that, like, okay, this is AO content. If you guys like these games, we made it straight for you for easier access, to easier purchase and stuff. I'm just surprised that Steam is doing it, because we know that AO games is a rating here in America, but there's not a lot of games that support that rating. So to see Steam do that, it's just like, oh, that's interesting. You know,
you have to. They should. Do they have animated saloon doors that you got to go through to get to?
Oh,
wow.
Oh,
and
man.
yeah, and I don't know if this is going to open up a lot of hentai style games for Steam, but we shall see. I think it's just interesting to see them do that and see what happens in 21 if games with AO content, if that becomes a big thing. If it's not just for sex and everything, is it going to be for more mature stuff that surpasses M-rated stuff to make it like it's almost NC-17 in a sense,
Well, like
comparison to rating.
Or like just the ultra violent games, or the games that deal with thing like what was it, that Call of Duty game that you could opt out of the mission where you walk through the airport?
Yeah.
Oh,
Call of
yeah.
Duty
Games like that I could see going into this category. Obviously, everyone goes towards the very clear idea of what the category is, but there's a lot of other things that people could start getting in. Game developers could start getting into a lot more adult themes in the terms of like violence and just what your character might be dealing with, trauma, things like that.
Yeah, then like that Columbine game or whatever.
Yeah.
Like stuff like that like, you know, is just
the Columbine RPG.
Yeah.
Hatred and stuff like that. Yeah.
Oh, man, there's a strange new world out there. Remember when you just had to go behind the curtain at the video store and just hide? Now it's just out there. It's just all out there.
Oh.
Cyberpunk letting you
yeah.
even have a slider to see it. You know, somebody said this the other day on Twitter. By the way, going back to Cyberpunk, and I think Josh brought it up on Tower Casuals when we were talking about it a little bit. That like if you make it if you make it the smallest it can be, you get a like a aggression buff.
That's great.
Wow.
You get a big truck, a jacked up truck too.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean that's kind of it really. I don't really have anything else to say about the Steam AO stuff, but it's out there. So anybody else want to hit on anything before we get out of here?
Nah, I don't really have much to say about it. I mean, if it wouldn't be Steam, I mean, it probably just wound up being EGS or somebody. You know, like there's a market for it. I mean, you know, I'm not just talking about sexually charged games and stuff like that. There's games that, you know, in all honesty, like, you know, like they draw an AO rating because like there's something else behind it. It's not always. I don't know. We're still too puritanical in our thoughts here. We're sitting here thinking it's all about sex, and we need to stop clutching our pearls.
Isn't it? Isn't that?
I mean, the thing. I think one of the positive things of doing something like that, though, is then that there's obviously like some kind of deeper system to what's being, you know, separated, and maybe it will better if, you know, like help with settings where if you want to like have like a, you know, like a settings where you can set age limits and say like, oh, you know, like I have a kid that's like, you know, 17 years old, so like I could, you know, whatever. But I mean, you know, like just being able to like make that stuff not visible to like, even if like, let's say you leave your computer on, your kid's screwing around with it or whatever, and, you know, like you don't want them be screwing around with things or seeing stuff maybe that, you know, or whatever. Like, I mean, if it's gonna have like some more value to it where it helps in other things like that, I could see, you know, maybe it being a good idea. But otherwise, I mean, it's ultimately, I don't know.
That's exactly it, though. Is I'm more interested in what it means for the ESRB rating system.
Yeah,
I'm more interested in what it means for companies being able to say, hey, we have this game and we normally aren't allowed to put it out, but now there's this thing that's like actually recognized by the public and by gaming in general, and so now we can. And now do things get tossed around a little bit more? Do ultra-violent games hit a different category? Do sexual games hit a different category? Do all these things, anything that has drugs or anything like that, hit this new category that makes people step back and go, okay, well, what can we do differently to either get out of that category? Do we want to focus on staying in it? That sort of thing.
Well, it's definitely, and the last thing, it's definitely marketed for PC because consoles won't do AO. So we know which version that we'll be able to get. We know if we get a game that is AO on PC, they're going to take some stuff out or, you know, change some things to get it M-rated on console. So we shall see, and we'll see
unless they just do the old school like blood code like they did for Mortal Kombat,
I mean,
where
you look at,
there's certain things you could turn on and off, you know,
I mean, you look at games like Gears too. They have a gore slider and a language slider on there. You know, games are already kind of doing that in a way. So I mean, I just think you're just going to see deeper options.
Not to put anything down or anything, but the whole Nintendo, the family-friendly company, straight up has hentai games on their console.
Yeah, they do.
So
they do.
And Nintendo spoke about that.
Yeah.
So.
And so I don't know if it necessarily is going to be held back on console. I think PC definitely will adapt it a lot more. I think PC has the more not targeted audience. That sounds bad. The more like willingness to look past it and understand that it is more than just sex, right? Type of audience, the more grown up audience. But I think eventually consoles would adapt to it as well.
Yeah. All right. Well. Anybody doing anything outside of games before we get out here? Anybody watching anything? Anything?
I've been watching. I need to watch The Mandalorian, the newest episode yet, but
you will enjoy it.
All right, that show went from being a good show to the best thing that Disney Plus has to offer.
It went from being a good show to like I was getting ready to stream Cyberpunk last night, and somebody asked a question, and I was like, wait, what am I doing with my life? I haven't watched The Mandalorian yet. So, wow, Mandalorian actually out-prioritized freaking Cyberpunk last night.
I was waiting for it. I was just like, oh, I can watch LeRon stream.
You gotta wait 45 minutes for me to watch Mandalorian.
It's so good. Like, as somebody who's not even like a huge Star Wars fan. Like the show I'm waiting for is Falcon and Winter Soldier is the show that I'm waiting for.
Yeah.
But like just the way that Ahsoka showed up, or like, you know, like some like I don't want to spoil anything, I guess, for like story spoilers or anything, but just like certain things that are happening has made me go and like, where's this character from? Why are people excited about this character? It's made me research more stuff about the Star Wars universe than I even like cared about before. You know? And
because it was from the Clone Wars stuff, wasn't it?
Yeah, and
like
it's
some
like
of the Clone Wars stuff is tying in.
I actually added Clone Wars and Rebels to my watch list because I'm like,
I started watching Rebels too.
Please watch it. Please watch it.
Rebels is so good.
I was on Disney Plus.
Yeah,
with Clone Wars and stuff. Only reason because of Cartoon Network and everything. So I didn't know it got switched there.
So y'all ready for me to lose all credibility that I have?
Oh boy, here it comes.
My 65-year-old parents watch The Mandalorian. I haven't seen a single episode.
Me neither. I haven't seen it.
Well, it's been good having you on the show. Probably won't have you back.
As a matter of fact, Pal Block will be looking for a new host starting next week.
No, I know for me, my mom has Disney Plus, so I could jump on it and use her subscription, but it's just like with so much else going on and everything, I haven't asked her to get it, to watch it or anything. So that's all.
Yeah. It's...
I know for me, I watched Happiest Seasons, that Christmas movie.
That was really good.
Yeah, dude, that was a great movie.
It was a good movie. I'm see some more Christmas movies. I mentioned watching Alien and watching Airplane. So, but I've been listening to a lot of chill hopping because of the Game Awards, and Dan and LeRon and I talking. I've been digging some more Cascade stuff. That Cascade track was hot for
that Cascade that he dropped for Rocket League. Yeah.
I gotta go back and finish listening to it. You dropped the one called On Fire, right? Or was that Dan? I think that was Dan. That one was good. I was actually at work listening to it, listening to that track, and I'm just like, man, I need to just
check out this track called "Disarm You" featuring Isley. You'll like that one.
Oh, I'll check it out.
I call it one of those anthem tracks. It's one of those ones that, you know, like if you're actually at an actual show and it plays, like it's one of those ones that just puts you right in the zone. I am going to do a buddy of mine a favor because he found out. Well, it was a buddy of mine that just repaired his computer. He found out that I haven't seen a single episode of The Witcher, and so he's like, before I speak to you again on Monday, you better at least watch the pilot. And I was like, okay, I'll do that.
The Witcher.
I heard good things.
It's okay. It's okay. I mean, it's okay. I would say. I mean, that's all I can really say about it. It's okay.
Okay.
I can't wait for that new season of Castlevania, though. That last season was good.
Oh man, yes, I'm so hyped for that. That would be amazing.
I haven't watched Castlevania yet either, but
I watched a couple of episodes of it, but I need to go back to that yet too.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's really good.
Those action scenes are peak animation.
That second season, final one, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, the only other thing that I'm doing, I was talking about promoting. So next week, we did a after dark episode like last year with the Bad Bitches podcast, and they're gonna do a Christmas special. For this year, and they asked me to come join them, and we're gonna watch I think possibly Elf, and commentate over that and do that. So that'll be their drunkumentary episode, which is where they talk about movies and stuff.
Nice.
Because Kayla and Big Jen's. Kayla is like Corey is with music, where she just like there's just a lot of movies she hasn't seen that like everyone has seen. And so that's what kind of started this show, is she's just watching movies that people are suggesting that she hasn't seen yet, that are like, massive movies that like everyone always talks about, and she's just like, I've never seen it. So like that's kind of what they do. And yeah, so it's the Bad Bitches podcast, but those episodes of those kind of shows will be in their episode feeds. But normally, if you're not familiar, which I'm sure a lot of people might not be or whatever, they do outside of that, they talk about different women of history, bad bitches, whether it be just women that were straight up evil or just women that were just badasses that did cool things and stuff. They tend to a lot of times be more on the side of women who are just like crazy and stuff like that, or just psycho and stuff. But it's hilarious. Still it's really interesting though, and they're a lot of fun, and they're hilarious. But it definitely like it is a certain kind of humor, or like they do get pretty dirty and talk about crazy stuff, which like I like all kinds of comedy. I love offensive comedy. I love like dirty comedy. I love whatever, like, so for me it's fine, but I mean it's definitely not kid friendly, so but they're a blast, and they also are from Wisconsin where I live too, so yeah, so I'm gonna have fun doing that. Looking forward to it. And like we kind of talked about it earlier, like we kind of want to get back into doing movie stuff like that too as well, which would be welcomed by me for sure.
Yeah. Well, I think that's gonna wrap the show. I want to thank everybody for watching live on Twitch today. If you are listening on audio feeds, you can catch the show live on twitch.tv/Boss Rush Games live on Saturdays around 1:30 Eastern-ish. You can also catch our family of shows, including Crossroads, a PlayStation podcast, over at LeRon's Twitch channel, Exodus 803. Jacob, thank you for joining us today.
Yeah, man.
Really appreciate you.
You want to
remind everybody where to find you?
Yeah, you can find me anywhere on the internet as Galutrad, Galutrad. I stream Monday through Friday, 7 to 10, and usually I play Nintendo games. Wednesday I play Animal Crossing, and Friday is Boys Night, where we just play whatever me and my buds are wanting to play. This last week was Smash. This last Friday was Smash.
How is streaming 7 days a week? Because I've been trying to break out of the mold of streaming like 3 days a week. How is that?
Dude, I am exhausted. Like I hope y'all aren't offended. I was like midway through the thing, I was starting to yawn because I've actually been up since 5 because I had my regular work. Like I said at the beginning of the show, I was working overtime work this morning from 5 to 12. Got home, jumped on the podcast. But man, it's so much work, dude. I'm so tired all the time.
Don't worry, man. I yawn all the time too. I get up early. I get up early for work, and then usually we don't record until like it's my bedtime. So
I'm one of those people. Anytime I'm sitting down, I yawn a lot.
Yeah.
It's not even because I'm tired. It's just because I'm just in that position.
Yeah.
No, yeah. I didn't want to be like, oh, y'all are so boring.
No,
we all
yawn. We get it.
I already messaged Corey. I was like that dude's offending me right now. Like he can't stop yawning when I talk.
Let me read this. It says, LeRon says, this dude is offending me by yawning. Please kick him out of the call.
All right, so this has been fun.
Well, thank you for joining us. It was cool. It was fun, spur of the moment thing. So you like I said, I messaged you about the Pow Block episode. You can join us anytime you want on anything. And yeah, you're awesome. Go follow him. Go find his stuff.
Thank you. Y'all are all super cool too, man. It's great having just more friends to talk gaming with and just all sorts of things. So
yeah, we do enough of that on here. So
and I wanna jump just real quick, I want to jump into some Destiny. I played a ton of Destiny 1. I want to try and jump into Destiny 2 with you. I play a little bit with my friends as well, but I'm not.
Are you playing on Xbox?
I'm playing on PC, unfortunately. Not able to crossplay right now. I know they were trying to bring that.
It's coming early next year.
Okay, all right.
But
that'll give me time to level up though, because like I just started Destiny 2 on PC, but I put like 3,000 hours into Destiny 1.
Yeah, so. I mean, I put most of that into, so it was close. Man, Destiny 1, what a
dude. You were mentioning raids, and I was like, oh, I remember killing Atheon.
Yeah, my favorite raid is still King's Fall. King's Fall is. Nothing's going to beat that for me, I don't think. So unless like the Witch Queen is going to bring some epic form of that style of raid back, but we can chat about Destiny.
Yeah, dude.
Ed, where can we find you?
You guys can find me on Twitter at That Pressure Code. You can check out Nintendo Power Block, Recap, Talk the Walk, Bosh Rush Podcast, Optional Opinion on SoundCloud, and other podcast apps. And yeah, you guys can follow me on Twitter and on Twitch at The Lyrical One.
LeRon, where can we find you?
You can catch me on social media with under my tag Exodus803. That's EXODUS803. That's also my gamer handle. So Steam, PlayStation Network, yada 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 yada. And yes, next week on Crossroads, next week will be our. We don't know what we're talking about just yet. We're still playing that one, but we'll have a week off for Christmas week, and then we'll be back for the year-end wrap the week after. So exciting times. Be on the lookout for that.
Yeah, Jesse, where can we find you?
You can find me almost everywhere as Phantom NXS.
And you can find me at IamCorianHC on Twitter and Instagram. You can find me here on a plethora of things on Boss Rush Games. You can follow Boss Rush at Boss Rush Network on Twitter, Boss Rush Games on everything else. I want to thank everybody so much for watching and or listening. And until next week, we love you. Goodbye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.